Hello my friends, and welcome back to The Long Dark, Wintermute, the story mode of The Long Dark. My name is Sprocket, and currently we're here at the Suzuki telescope with Jace, who has just given us a timed mission to try to adjust the telescope. So we're going to make our way down here. Hopefully she'll give us instructions.
What a mess.
Look for the wheel, Mackenzie.
For the wheel. Any wheel in particular? Oh, I wish I could speed crawl and get a move on through here. Okay, so we're gonna help her adjust the telescope in some way. She's actually very lucky that we came along. We kind of insisted on coming along with her, even though she was opposed to it. So she owes us a soda pop or something if we pull this off. Got a wheel right there. That's not the wheel we're looking for.
Here we go. 141 degrees.
Okay, 141. Got a ways to go. Does this wheel have momentum? Is it going to stop immediately, or is it just going to keep spinning when I let go? 130, 140. I went past it. Let me go back. Right there. Release wheel. Okay. Is that right? I hope that was right. Ooh, got wires. This way, maybe? Why is this all broken like this? Was this an earthquake? I don't remember an earthquake.
Look for the console with the big wheel on it. Come on, Mackenzie.
How am I supposed to find anything down here? There's gotta be a way through here.
What's taking so long down there?
Where's the damn wheel? The dish is huge.
Is this it? Okay, now
That's
what?
it. We're getting close now. Keep going. Okay, 67 degrees.
67. Okay. Going backwards this time. I feel like there's like TIE fighters shooting at us or something. Like this is a space battle of some kind. What did she say? 47? Or, wait, hold on. It's written down next to me. What is that? 67. Okay, 67. 67. There you go.
Jace? Everything
Now what?
okay over there?
Don't worry. Keep
Climb
going.
up. Where
Last
do-
bearing incoming. Come on, you sweet, sweet program. Don't let me down.
I hope this is the right way, guys. Oh, another big wheel. There's no numbers.
156, Mackenzie. Get to
156.
156 before the whole thing blows.
Okay. 156. It's pretty nerve-wracking. Why is it gonna blow? Oh, because of the aurora? 156. 156. Alright, we're getting there, Jace. Hang on. Whoa. Oh, stop. One more. Right there.
Now, Mackenzie.
Now what?
Mackenzie!
The program?
She did the most any program can hope to do. Her job. Now let's hope Dr. Atwood got what she needed. Because this gear is toast.
It's coming now. All the data just flooding out of the buffers. It worked. God damn it, it worked.
Oh, thank goodness. I'd hate to have to restart my PhD.
You did brilliant work, my girl. Absolutely brilliant. We just need to keep the data flow. Ensure it comes in a continuous flow, uninterrupted.
How long before the data is ready for analysis?
These are old systems. and it takes a while for them to crunch through the numbers. It'll be hours before we'll... Well...
What the hell just happened?
It's not the power this time. Geothermal plant's still showing up green on the board.
Some kind of overload, or emergency shutdown.
What now?
Now we do this the old-fashioned way. We start combing through the numbers.
I'll get us some light. Do you see anything that would indicate the level of K-index we might expect to...
Shush, girl. Let me read.
Do you want me to grab a printout and
Could it be a G10?
Is there something I can do to...
Aha! Here it is. Here it is.
There it is.
What do you see?
It can't be. That silly old British bastard was right. He just never knew how right he was. Why did it have to happen in our time?
British bastard? Please explain.
For you to fully understand would take more time than we have. I'd have to go back more than 150 years.
I like a good story.
I think we deserve some answers.
Very well. In 1865, a British scientist and naval officer was tasked with supporting the research of a scientific team, seeking to create a kind of communication that could travel over the air. The Admiralty felt that dependence on the telegraph was holding them back. This Navy man was inspired by stories he'd heard about the Carrington event 6 years prior. At the time, the largest geomagnetic event ever recorded. He had heard that the abundance of static electricity in the air had powered telegraph lines, even after the operators had unplugged them. Fires broke out due to this geomagnetically induced current. It got him thinking. This scientist's research led him all over the world, and he began to piece together a picture of the Earth's geomagnetic profile, and something about the operation of the sun and its effects on the Earth's magnetic field. Remember, this was 150 years ago, and well before they had the equipment to prove any of this. But a theory began to take shape in his mind that suggested the sun went through cycles of geomagnetic activity, waxing and waning, but sometimes spiking inexplicably in dramatic ways. The historical record held evidence of many of these events, but in pre-industrial times, the impacts were more subtle. Even in the mid-1800s, there wasn't enough power infrastructure to really feel the impact of these spikes, so it wasn't of grave concern. But the growing dependence on telegraphy suggested this shouldn't be ignored. And this scientist predicted that if the level of electrification continued to grow exponentially, as was predicted, this would create a serious vulnerability that could be exploited by their enemies at great cost to industry and society at large. He was given a secret commission from the Royal Geographical Society to prove his theories and to come up with a strategy that would ensure the British were in the strongest position to exploit any such geomagnetic disaster. After another decade of research, this scientist began to suspect that this geomagnetic current that existed all around them could impact many other things, and more deeply. He began to study migration patterns of animals, and gathered evidence of whale strandings, bird die-offs, and other unexplained mysteries relating to animals' innate abilities to navigate vast distances with great precision, without the benefit of modern tools or equipment. Eventually, he knew he had to travel north to the Arctic to really test his theories. And in December of 1865, he took a ship and a crew of Navy scientists and mariners in a specially commissioned research vessel, a modified bomb mortar ship, fashioned after the Terror and Erebus from the ill-fated Franklin expedition. His ship was named the HMS In Tenebris, and he took it and a crew far above the Arctic Circle, along with an array of unique recording equipments he had crafted himself, with the hope of collecting data to support his theories. This scientist and Navy man was Captain Edmund Wintermute.
The word in Mackenzie's secret message.
It was a person's name.
Wintermute's mission was to collect data near the Arctic Circle, and he and his crew were also tasked with the goal of resupplying a small Navy research outpost that had been set up as part of Wintermute's program the year before. Some of the crew on Wintermute's ship was designated as relief for the outpost crew, and Wintermute was meant to bring the replaced men home to their families. A few days away from the Arctic Circle and 2 days from their destination, Wintermute recorded increasingly active aurora and other geomagnetic activity around the ship, including St. Elmo's fire. But he also noticed something else. As evidenced by their journals, many of the crew were having trouble sleeping, with some experiencing full-blown insomnia that worsened as they traveled further north. Some were also beginning to forget things, their journal entries occasionally slipping into childlike language or outright gibberish. 2 days out from their destination, the night watch rang the ship's bell to announce a man had gone overboard. The man, an experienced mariner, had been observed to simply walk off the deck of the ship. By all rights, a calm and dependable sailor. This event shook the crew's morale. Wintermute did his best to keep them focused, but he was still inexperienced as a ship's captain, always more the scientist than sailor or Navy man, and he could tell the men were increasingly becoming anxious, even distrustful.
Walked off the ship and straight into the water.
Exactly, but things got even stranger after that. When they arrived at their destination, a small island surrounded by sea ice, they found the Navy observation camp that Wintermute had set up the year before completely abandoned. The shelters were mostly destroyed, the relentless Arctic winds having shredded their canvas. The sled dogs were killed, some seeming to have been eaten. Many of the men were found dead, their bodies frozen in their beds, some showing signs of having been attacked or murdered.
Yikes.
Keep in mind, the Franklin expedition was still fresh in the public imagination during this time, including all the rumors of cannibalism. Wintermute could tell some of his men were nearing their breaking point, so he sent them back to the ship and took only a small group of trusted officers with him to search the rest of the small island. On the far northern side, in an icy bay, they found the remainder of the outpost crew, their bodies frozen solid in the ice. Some appear to have walked in and simply frozen in place.
Jesus. And I thought we had it bad.
Not wanting to completely abandon his research, but also recognizing the fragility of his situation, Wintermute kept a small group of trusted and hardy men with him. He offloaded sufficient provisions and equipment for them to survive up to 6 months, and sent the crew and the Intenebris back to London, with the request that they send a rescue ship to pick them up.
That's dedication. But what does it have to do with our data?
I'm getting there. Months later, the relief ship returned to find only Wintermute remained. He had left books of scrawled notes, data he had gathered using his novel devices, sketches and observances of the men he had kept with him, and a detailed diary outlining their slow but progressive decline into a kind of fugue and madness. Wintermute was accused of murdering the men, brought back in shackles, and once back in England, summarily court-martialed and committed to a sanatorium. His equipment, journals, and the data therein were hidden by the Admiralty, and the Royal Geographical Society renounced Wintermute's membership and denounced his research, claiming he had gone rogue. His work disappeared for over a century, until I dug it up.
Why Haven't we ever heard this story before?
Exactly the question you should be asking. I had encountered odd and inexplicable references to his research, but always leading to dead ends. I finally managed to get my hands, through no small feat of my own canny research and a dogged determination, I might add, on a few of his earlier papers. It wasn't easy, believe me. A woman, let alone a woman who isn't white, had to work 10 times harder to get access to this material, but I managed to do it. I spent the next 20 years piecing it together, tracing the fingerprints of Wintermute's theory, collecting his data, analyzing, and then adding to his research with research of my own using increasingly modern equipment. And the more I dug, the more data I collected, the more worried I became. Because not only had Wintermute's original fear come to pass, that the world had become dependent on the electrical grid, a technology that would easily be taken offline should any Carrington-level geomagnetic event occur. But even worse, that the Carrington event of 1859 was like a tiny spark compared to the massive, overwhelming storm that might come in the future. I started to talk to others about this, but of course, people thought I was crazy. They ignored me at first, then started to denounce me, and then ostracize me. Until I eventually found myself so far on the fringes of accepted science that I was entirely isolated, with nobody to trust, nobody who would believe me. I lost my job, my marriage failed, all my academic credentials were thrown into question.
Ah, this explains something about your reputation, Dr. Atwood.
Nobody would believe me. Except for John, who you met as Jeremiah, Mr. Mackenzie. He was a young corporal in the Canadian military when I first met him. Handsome, as I recall. It's a long story on top of an already long story, so I won't tell it all here. But the important thing was he was stationed at a radar observation post along the dew line, far north, and started to observe some strange things of his own. He followed the trail, which eventually led him to me. Then when we got together, there were sparks, I tell you. To be believed by someone, it was like a drug. We worked to uncover more data, and he kept his eyes and ears open, using his military connections to gather more information carefully. And he moved up the ranks, but always stayed under the radar, putting his career aspirations aside to ensure he could stay close to the facilities we needed access to. But it was never going to last. At one point, he was caught accessing some classified data shared with our NATO allies, and they thought he was spying for the Russians, so they put him in military prison. And we lost touch. Years later, he actually found me here, at the radio telescope. He was a changed man. His fire was gone. They'd somehow broken him. He said he still believed, but he couldn't be part of this journey. And that's the last time I saw him. That was more than 20 years ago. I can't believe he's still alive. And on Great Bear, no less.
You can't possibly believe that's some kind of coincidence. Jeremiah being here.
What are you suggesting?
Isn't it obvious? He stayed here for you, to be close to you, to keep watch.
He's been here ever since, close by, in case you might need him. And as soon as he saw the aurora and what it could do, he knew. He saw the signs. When I met him, he was nearly killed by a bear. And when I left him, he was still not much more than half alive. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have come here himself. But he sent me to warn you. He made me promise. And he knew by then what that promise would mean.
He sent you in his place. And it's a good thing he did, because now we have the final piece. This is the answer we've been looking for all these years.
Do we finally have it?
I think we do, dear.
I'm not following.
All my research here, and Jace's since she joined me, has been to try to anticipate, to get ahead.
Ahead of what?
The next big Carrington-level event.
The thing Wintermute spent his life also searching for. And others, lesser scientists, industrialists, crackpots, even here on Great Bear. The island's unique geologic strata and northern latitude created a perfect test bed for geomagnetic research. Even a few decades ago, a German industrialist named Rudiger. But that's not important.
Dr. Atwood, do we know the terminus?
We do, my dear.
And when is it coming? Do we have time to prepare?
No, dear. It's already too late. It's already started.
What does that mean?
It means we're in a new geomagnetic normal. What you've seen so far is really just the beginning. Things will get much worse from here on out.
But how long will it last? Carrington was over in a few days, weeks at most.
Oh, this is much bigger than Carrington.
How long, Doctor?
I hesitate to say. With the data I have, I can only offer a vague range. 40 to 400.
Hours?
Days?
Years. Wintermute tried to warn us 150 years ago, but nobody listened. And now we're at the very beginning of a geomagnetic storm. A disaster of such proportion we've not seen its like in recorded history. The power grid is down. Everything humanity has built over the last 100 years or more, based on technology, electronics, everything based on the integrated circuit, electricity, it's gone. It's all gone. Nature is changing, and soon we'll begin to see the impact on people. We won't emerge unscathed. And this period of darkness will last from 40 to 400 years. A new dark age. The long dark. And what humanity will exist on the other side of it, I cannot even begin to guess.
Then I need to warn her. I need to get to Perseverance Mills.
You're talking about your ex-wife, the doctor?
Astrid will be there. And she needs what's in this hard case.
What's in the case, and what kind of doctor?
She's a researcher. Insomnia, memory loss, fugue states. I think she stole some experimental meds. She's trying to help a friend. A child that's suffering from some mysterious illness. I'm not sure.
Go to her. Regardless of what's in the case, you can bring her here. Her and anyone else you care about. We have to think about the survival of the species now.
But what can we possibly do here?
Oh, Jace, my silly girl. Have you forgotten what this facility is built on?
I just know it's some government thing.
Before it was repurposed for use with the radio telescope, this was an observation post for monitoring satellite communications. Mostly American, Russian, some Chinese, Cold War stuff.
But why here? Who would think we'd be spying from here?
Exactly. A few floors below us are the magnetically shielded dorms and storerooms designed for the folks who used to live and work here, back in the Cold War. The whole place is basically a big bunker.
Right. And the team that built the geothermal plant left various supplies behind.
Exactly. There's probably enough dry rations and assorted supplies there to feed dozens of people for a couple of years.
Survival of the species, huh?
I'm afraid so.
Then I better get to it.
New objective, find Astrid and Perseverance Mills. Okay, I have so many questions and, well, comments as well. So, I'm confused why we needed to point the satellite at a certain location. Like, what data did she receive? Like, I think there's more to this story because she didn't need this satellite to find out that the auroras are getting more powerful, did she? Like, what data stream was she tapping into? She received some kind of signal. Like what? Also, I don't understand. So, the name Wintermute. Remember Jeremiah told us to tell her Wintermute? Like, that's just the guy's name that she's been studying. So, I mean, that's cool that she was able to figure out that this is a really powerful aurora and it's happening. But remember when we first talked to her, she's like, oh no, that name you told me, Wintermute, that means this is worse than it ever could be. Anyway, by the way, I just noticed this on the wall. Faded paper. I must have missed this before. Excavation log, day 74. The blasting crew had to stop work again today. It's slow progress, but they tell me the density of the rock is unlike anything they've seen before. Brittle in places, but diamond hard in others. I'm no engineer, but it's creating some unique challenges for keeping us on time and under budget. We know the required depth the scientists demand we hit, but they won't tell us why. Compartmentalization, they call it. I'm sure some government lawyer invented that word just for guys like me. In any case, we push on. The team arrives next week to see how effective the shilling will be. Physicists from back east somewhere. Their verdict seems to carry all the weight of this project. We will see. K. Rice, project manager. Okay, that is kind of cool that they are shielding down below. I wonder why they decided to do that, because shielding is usually for equipment, not for people, but I wonder if the shielding is going to protect our brains from the effects of the aurora, like how people are going crazy and walking off into the water. Also, it makes me wonder if I should start looking for a roll of aluminum foil to put under my toque to try to protect my brainwaves from making me want to dive into the water or something. Anyway, really interesting stuff. No indication of aliens like I had suspected. It sounds like all very natural. It's a shame so many people are going to die, you know, because we're so dependent on electronics now. But I think the end result is a nice thing, actually, getting back to nature. The only problem is I'm kind of worried about the wildlife going crazy. You know, and like the whales beaching and killing themselves, or the wolves going crazy or whatnot. By the way, I don't know if I'm supposed to be going this direction or not. Let's take a look at our objectives. So we're supposed to find Astrid and Perseverance Mills. Okay, so that's probably going to be... We need to exit, right? Probably need to exit. So this may be our last chance to grab any last little bit of loot. To be honest, guys, I think we're already geared enough. Sorry, let me look at our inventory here. We've got a little bit of food. We've got some water. Our gear's probably all really good. Everything's in really good shape. We didn't get too damaged as we were running around and being attacked by wolves and things. We didn't actually get damaged too much. We've got some stims left. So I think we're probably ready to go. I mean, I don't think we really need anything. Anyway, lots of information to think about. So we know who Wintermute is now. It's a guy, not a code word. And we know a little bit about Jeremiah. Oh, and he still loves, what's her name? The lady? I just lost her name. Atwood? Is that her name? Yeah. So they are a couple. That's kind of nice. It's too bad he got falsely accused and was thrown in jail for trying to help his girlfriend out like that. All right, let's set off and try to find Astrid. Oh, are we seriously setting out during an aurora? That doesn't sound so smart. What's this? High energy. Find Astrid in Perseverance Mills. So we're going to have to get over there. Let's make sure we're all loaded up. Going out in an aurora does not sound like a great idea. Remember the effect this had on the wolves near here even before the aurora started? You can just imagine how crazy they are now. We still haven't run into an Aurora bear yet. Not exactly looking forward to that. Okay, the good news is we're warm. That is a good thing. Is this where we need to go? I've gone the wrong direction. I just assumed it was that way, but we actually need to go this way. Okay, goodbye, Suzuki radio telescope. Hopefully we'll be back soon. Try to rescue people. Of course, Will has no idea that the convicts have made their way back to Perseverance Mills, and he's in for a bit of surprise, I think, once he gets there. All right, let's do this. Part 3, Do No Harm. Perseverance Mills. Is that Donner?
This is your patient. And in case you're thinking of letting him die, consider this a little extra incentive to keep him alive.
Astrid, you don't need to do that.
I need you focused.
I'm a doctor. I'll do whatever I can to help your friend.
He's not my friend. He's my son. He dies, she dies, and then you die.
He's lost a lot of blood, and his injury looks infected. There's a fair bit of bruising around the torso, suggesting there may be internal injuries. Tell me what happened to him.
There was an explosion. Then a lot of heavy stuff fell on him.
How did you know to come here?
We heard on the radio.
Shut it, Vachon. You always did talk too much. You never mind that. Just fix Donner.
For internal injuries, there's not much I can do with the equipment here. It's too rudimentary. Normally, he'd be airlifted to a regional hospital.
You'd better figure something out.
I need some better gear, like an emergency trauma kit.
Well, you'd better figure out where you can find something like that, and soon.
The search and rescue station. They need to keep it stocked as emergency backup for remote communities like Perseverance. There's medical supplies there.
Where is it?
Along the old logging roads, north of Desperation Bay. Very rough terrain. It won't be a fast trip on foot.
Well then, Doctor, you better get going.
I'll get the supplies and I'll be right back. And then we'll get Freya out of here.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Doctor. Heller, go with her.
Boss!
Shut up and get going. A little company to make sure you come back. And remember, Donner goes, and your friend won't be looking quite so healthy when you get back.
Be careful, Astrid.
Look, we've been traveling for hours. I'm not going any further.
My friend warned us it was a long walk to the SAR station.
I'm freezing. Gotta warm up before I go any further.
I guess we can stop for a bit.
Listen, lady. Hey, look, a train.
New objective, retrieve the trauma
Damn,
kit.
what an ancient piece of junk. This thing belongs in a museum.
You know anything about trains?
Nah, not really. Just think they're cool. Bet this track leads to the SAR station.
Okay. Got some coal, and it sounds like you are wanting to warm up. Do I have some sticks in my inventory? Maybe some matches. Enter vehicle.
If I could just get this old steam engine working, it would save us a lot of time.
Sure would beat walking. But it looks to be missing some control parts. Throttle, maybe?
Must be around here somewhere.
Okay.
Well, good luck with that. I'll just be over here, looking for some way to thaw out.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry. Gee, thanks for your help.
Anytime, lady.
So we've got our new objective to get the steam engine running. Why am I heavy? Let me take a look at our inventory. Apparently I've got a lot of gear. I drop these, and we got the coal. Should I start a fire and get him warmed up, or do we want to save the coal for the locomotive? What other stuff do I want to drop here? All these heat packs. Do you want some heat packs, buddy? Guy? I mean, you're not my buddy, but do you want some heat packs? Let's take a look at our objectives. Do we still need to warm him up? Retrieve the trauma kit, get the steam engine running. Find coal. Okay, so we gotta find some coal. Light the steam engine's firebox, and we've gotta find the throttle lever. Which means we've gotta do some looting. You guys know me, I do enjoy a good looting session. I've got a gun. I've got a gun. Nice. I'll probably need that for wolves, so. Let's drop this metal. I just need to get lightweight, really. A lot of this gear has shown up, I guess, from my previous... Oh, yeah, it's the last time I was on that that ship.
Carry this load for much longer.
I remember now. We were on the ship, and then we hurried and ran back to the bar to tell everybody. Okay, let's find... You know, I'm gonna make a pile here of stuff we don't need. You know, let's use the coal bin. We'll use the coal bin for all this loot we don't really need. Put some flares in there. We've got an extra knife. I hope we don't run into timber wolves. Maybe I'll hang on to those just in case. We've got a noisemaker. Don't need all these sewing kits. I've got our bow. Nice. Got our bearskin bedroll still. That's good. Lots of food. We're not hurting for food. That's good. I'm going to put a bunch of food in here. Let's sort by weight. We can put the peanut butter in there. We can put the pork and beans. Some of these. I do want to save this soda, maybe just to drink. Can put a couple of crackers in here. Maybe the candy bar. Okay, what clothing do we have? I probably need to do some repairs, actually. So that's extra. Can get rid of that. Those are extra. That's extra. So at some point I may want to do repairs. I've got a plethora of stims. I'm going to leave some heat packs here. I haven't had to use a single heat pack yet. Okay, we're at 35 out of 30 kilos. What am I carrying that's so heavy? Just a miscellaneous loot. I guess maybe we should leave the bow here. I'll leave the bow and arrows. Okay, I dropped a few more items. That's about as light as I'm willing to get. I even dropped my my pot, just because I think it will help. I don't want to get my gun out because I'm afraid I'm going to shoot myself. I tend to have that problem. Although if I use this one, let's make sure that's loaded. Okay, this one is a little safer. So we're looking for train parts to try to fix.
Maybe I can find something useful in that maintenance shed.
Okay, head over there. I will skip the cars. Hope the wildlife can't get in this little area. Oh, we got more coal.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
Nice. So we needed 9 pieces of coal, I believe, total. or something like that. This must be where the coal is unloaded. I'll take the water bottle. I don't need more flares. Oh wait, that's a deer. Okay. Had me scared for a minute. Okay, I see a trailer right there. We could loot. Oh, and more coal. Looks like more coal over there. Let's see if we can get in this building. Door's locked. Let's check this here. Nice. You know what? I'm going to leave all of our coal here until we're ready to go. Let's just drop all that. So that is locked. Can't get up the stairs. Wait, was there another way up? Can I, like, jump? Let's check around the back side. Maybe there's another door. Oh, here's a door. It's locked. Okay, so maybe I need to find a key. Should go check the trailer?
I could use those.
Take those for now. Jerry can. Okay, I don't need that. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything as far as climbing. So the stairs are busted. That is pretty much it. Although the stairs lead over here to a platform up there. All right, let's go check. Let's go check the trailer. Wait, hold on. What is this? Is that a dead guy? Do you have a key? No key. He does have a flare. Feathers, flare. Wolf just killed a deer. Do you want to kill the wolf that killed the deer? Don't know where that wolf is. Some firewood.
Hope nobody needs this.
I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave all that. Let's put our gun away. Okay. Hopefully there is a key here.
I'll take it.
Nope, don't need any of that. I might take this just to drink it. I'm kind of thirsty. So we searched that. A little bit of cloth. Alright, where is that key to get in the door?
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Don't need water. Alright guys, I did not see a key in here, so I'm gonna keep looking, I guess. I'm a little worried about the wolf I heard. Are there any more buildings? What is this? Some kind of red building? Is that a train car? No, it's a semi-truck. These are all shut. Got some more coal. Just checking to see if there's any more dead bodies we could loot. Possibly find some keys. There's nothing over here. Oh, let's go check the trucks. Vehicles. Maybe there's something here. Got some firewood.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
Matches? No. I'll take the bullet, though. What is over here? Nothing. I'm gonna leave all that. I'm gonna leave those. Is there a key here? No key. Let's get our gun out. Alright, I'm getting a little worried. Running out of places to look for. Is this a trailer? What is this? Shipping cargo container? So what am I missing? Makes me think I missed some way to get inside that was obvious.
Well, this stuff will come in handy.
I'll take the antibiotics. Okay, I'm gonna have another look at this building. What am I missing to get in there? Okay, let's look at each side of the building. So on the back here, there's a tree, guys, right there. Okay, so I probably have to find my way up to the roof. Yeah, that's gotta be it. So we're gonna have to confront that wolf anyway. Oh, I got a wall to climb. So that's what that trail of loot was. I wondered why it ended over here. Okay. Are there any predators up here? Okay. Should probably be careful so we don't fall through. There we go. We got an entrance. Let's try to be careful about this. Oh, another dead body. Do you have a key?
I think I can use this.
I'm going to leave all that. I'll take the marine flare. I don't think we need all this fuel, do we? I'm going to leave that. I think we just need the coal. Okay, we've got another jerry can. Don't think we need it. We could always come back if we need it.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Okay, we made it inside. It's a little bit dark in here. Well, this place is a mess. Okay, so we're looking for parts, right? We don't need scrap metal, but we do need parts to get the locomotive working. Where would we find parts? Well, let's see if there's a stem in here.
This will come in handy.
Military stem. Okay. I'll take some of that. So I wonder if one of our requirements is to bring that guy, the guy who's with us, do we need to bring him back alive? Or does he conveniently get lost or have a run-in with the wolves or something? Got a book.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
Yeah, I'll take the shells. I'll leave that. Hello. Nice. I'll take that. I might need to swap out the one I already have.
I'll take it.
I'll take the crackers. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave all that. Don't need more Go energy drinks. Hey, we got a note. Okay, I'll read that in just a minute. Herbal tea. No, thank you. Is that a suitcase? That reminds me of Will. I hope he shows up with a suitcase. Alright, let's take a look at this paper. Piece of paper. A letter with faded handwriting. Dear Mia, I've been thinking we should see about finally letting Goose have a rest. Figure we can park her right at the end of the line, near P Mills. We could bring folks out, let the kids climb around the engine, blow the whistle, yeah, that kind of thing. There's so little to bring anyone up this far north, much less from the mainland. Might stir up some trouble in town. No one likes a good idea these days, much less the fellow who thought it up. But a bit of history might be just the trick. What do you think? Okay, so I guess that's that locomotive. It's called the Goose. Yeah, I'll take it. I'm up for that. We can climb on the Goose and see if we can get it going. Okay, I do want to check out these. Okay, so we got a 76% distress pistol. Let's unload it. Okay, and then we're going to drop it. And then we can set this down. Let's make sure this is loaded up. Ready for action. Okay, what else? What's this place? Train yard? Is there anything worth looting in here? Got more coffee, can opener. Nope, I wanted to look in there. No, just open. Oh well, won't let me open it.
Probably useful.
I'm gonna leave it. I've already got so much food. This looks like the employee break room. I'm gonna leave all that. That's pretty cool. Anything in the trash?
I think I can use this.
Alright, we've got some employee lockers. I'm gonna leave it. I'll take the fishing line. I'll leave the food. I'm gonna leave all that. I'll leave all that. Toilet water. Maybe one's for old time's sake. Should get a little drink. Okay, hopefully what we're looking for is down here. Pretty impressive. But guys, if you made it this far into the video, I do want to say thank you so much for coming along. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, please take a minute, press the like button, leave a comment. Hopefully you're already subscribed so you don't miss out on the adventure. But most importantly, I do hope to catch you in the next episode. Take care.